Hey everyone, this is C Crypto Daily Buzz. Today is March 27, 2026. This channel summarizes the most important crypto news for investors in Southeast Asia, including traders and long-term holders in the Philippines, Vietnam, Indonesia, Thailand, and OFW communities using crypto and remittance every day. Let's go through 3 key stories you should pay attention to in today's market. Issue 1. Tether signs. Big Four audit deal on $184 billion reserves. Tether has announced that it has signed an agreement with a Big Four accounting firm to conduct a full independent audit of its roughly $184 billion in reserves, calling it a historic turning point for stablecoin transparency. Until now, Tether only released attestations from smaller firms, so a full Big Four audit could either validate its claims about over-collateralization or expose weaknesses in how reserves are managed across cash, treasuries, and other assets. For investors in Southeast Asia, including traders in the Philippines, Vietnam, and Indonesia, who use USDT for remittance and trading pairs, I see this as a major step toward closing the trust gap between USDT and traditional money market funds. The upside is greater confidence if the audit is clean, but the risk is that any serious red flag could trigger short-term volatility and a flight into alternatives like USDC or regulated local stablecoins. Issue 2. Circle stock drops 20% as Clarity Act targets interest on stablecoin holdings. Circle's share price fell about 20% in a single session after reports that the draft U.S. Clarity Act includes language that would effectively ban interest payments on retail stablecoin balances held by U.S. customers. Analysts estimate that this could cut into one of Circle's key revenue streams, since yield on USDC reserves and revenue sharing with partners like Coinbase have been central to its business model, and Coinbase shares also slid roughly 8% on the news. For Southeast Asia investors, including USDC users in the Philippines, Vietnam, and OFW remittance corridors, my view is that this highlights how U.S. regulation can reshape stablecoin economics overnight. Even if the law ends up applying mainly to U.S. entities, any pressure on Circle's profitability or growth could slow new features and reduce incentives for banks and fintechs in the region to integrate USDC compared with more profitable alternatives. Issue 3. XRP Spot ETF faces SEC decision deadline today. Today is the final SEC decision date for proposed spot XRP ETFs, following the regulator's earlier move to classify XRP as a digital commodity rather than a security, and markets are bracing for volatility around the announcement. If an XRP ETF is approved, it would mark the first major non-Bitcoin, non-Ethereum spot product to clear U.S. regulators and could open the door for more altcoin ETFs, while a rejection or delay would reinforce the idea that the SEC is still cautious even after its commodity label. For traders in Southeast Asia, especially those in the Philippines and Vietnam who actively trade XRP pairs, I think the key is to treat today as a binary event. Spreads can widen, and funding rates on XRP futures can spike in both directions. Rather than chasing every move, it may be safer to size positions modestly, have clear invalidation levels, and remember that liquidity conditions across exchanges can quickly change if the headline surprises. Summary: 1. Tether signs. Big Four audit deal on its $184 billion stablecoin reserves. 2. Circle stock slides 20% as Clarity Act targets. Interest on stablecoin holdings. 3. SEC's XRP Spot ETF decision. Today could spark major volatility for traders. This video is for information and education only and is not financial advice. All investment decisions and risks are your own responsibility. If this video was helpful, please subscribe, hit the like button, and turn on the notification bell. For real-time alerts and trading signals, join our Telegram channel, link in the description. See you in the next one.